Oh, and Grecoids and more. You don't need to die. I'm here. How's it going, everybody? How are we doing? How's everybody feeling? If you don't know, now you know, but I usually pop in about 5 to 7 minutes after the start of my stream time because I feel like the alert doesn't go out at the same time. And in fact, a lot of people message me and still say I got the alert after the live stream. But how's everybody doing? How are we feeling? What's going on? Oh, and Danikin Aquatics, is that Kenny? It looks like Kenny is already free from Shanna's stream. So glad that you could make it, brother. Again, Dr. Pepper, they're still not paying me. So if we could get some folks on that, that would be great. How's everybody feeling tonight? How are we doing? So what I wanted to let all of you know is that we're going to be doing things a little differently. So this is a live stream. If you guys don't know what a live stream is and you're watching this, say, not at 7:30 p.m. on a Tuesday or on a Monday, say, or 10:30 if you're on the East Coast, then it means that you're watching a replay. And this is not one of my videos where I am dedicating my time to telling a story or facts or information. This live stream and live streams from going forward now are about who's here. They're about you, the viewer, my friends, and the community. And we are going to focus on that for the fact of the live stream. Looks like I have dirt on my head. I was digging in the tanks. You were hoping for different color fingernail polish. Yeah, I haven't taken off the old one yet, but it is like eroding slowly. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So there's that. Whoa, starting out of the gates with the Dr. Pepper Fund. Thank you so much, Danikin Aquatics, my good friend down there in Portland. You know how much the super chats help. And on that note, I want to give a huge shout out to Kelly Joe. Wow. You have Kelly, if you're watching, I don't know if you're in here yet. I haven't seen, but you guys, she has been so helpful. I talk to her frequently. If you didn't know, guys, the best way to get a hold of me is actually through YouTube in the comments section, believe it or not. I know that's not the way most YouTube channels are, but I really try to get to every comment. And oh, yeah, Kelly is in here. But I just wanted to say, she has gone onto Venmo or PayPal and she has dropped, like, be it $5, $10, or $20, whatever. But that is so incredibly helpful because when people do that and they go onto either PayPal or Venmo, which is linked in my description, it means that I get access to money not just once a month. And the way YouTube works is it takes the money you made from 2 months ago and it gives it to you on around the 21st to the 25th of the month. Actually, it's 19th to the 25th. Could be anywhere in that week, and then it just appears. So it's really kind of frustrating how they pay out. And, when I need things like, fish food or rent, or rather mortgage now, I can't say how much that really does help. So I do appreciate that, as well as the super chats. So thank you. Thank you so much, Kenny and Danny. So let's see what's going on, folks. I have something to show you right out of the gates before I forget about it and get sidetracked. Look at this. So this is an Aqueon Pro heater, and I bought this when I set up this tank over here that's behind my mic boom, which is so professional. I'm using a ladder with C clamps on it. But so this which is usually real heavy duty, tough, like polyurethane or whatever. Look what it did. That's not even the seam. Like there's no, that's not where the seam line is for this product. There's a seam line on the other side, and you can see there's a seam line up in here. There's a little bit of one like right here. But this thing, what happened was my fish were in my, here, I have to show you guys better. My fish were in this tank, and I put a whole bunch of plants in there to help eat up some of the nitrates that were coming out of the aqua soil still, the substrate. And on the far end, I had 2 dead CPDs and a dead glow light Danio, and they looked perfect. Like they looked super healthy and lively and perfect. And so I was like, that's weird. So I fished them out with the net at night. And then later in the night, another gourami was dead and looked again perfect. And I was like, what is going on here? And so I put my hand in just to feel if the water was too hot or something. And I'd already done a dipstick test, like a little strip test. And bam, I get shocked right out of the gates, which is the same damn thing that happened with a Fluval heater out of my Mormarid tank when my Mormarid died. But I've never dropped anything on this or done anything to this. It just is split open, and I don't even know what those guts are. It's something like, I just touched it with my fingernail, and it's something like dusty. It might even be sand, like sand packed around it, like silicate sand to keep the core from overheating. But this is the Pro. If you look at the info, it's the Pro heater series, 100 watt, but it shocked the hell out of me when I put my hand in the water. It was like zap, like, and hurt. And as you guys may well know, I don't like getting shocked. I don't like getting electrocuted. It's not fun. It's not cute. Don't like it anymore. Lightning was more than enough for my whole life. But it would have killed all my fish if it weren't for the fact that all those plants were in there. I think it dispersed the charge or something, because the rest of the fish had swam to the other side 3 feet over and were literally pressed against the far side's glass, and like freaking out. And so that's what kind of let me know that there was a real issue going on. But I've never seen anything like this. It just cracked right from the bottom, and there's actually 2 other cracks in the bottom there that are started. So Aqueon Pro heater, I don't know. Uh, I feel like it could have shocked me way worse. I literally just put my finger in to see what the temperature was, and uh, yeah, so that's not good. I'm gonna have to write the company about that because it's scary. I mean, it could have also, if there was plants on that or anything, it could have caused electrical or heat problems. So, yeah. All right, guys. So, as I was saying, the live streams now, I want them to be about you guys. You guys are here. You've taken the time aside. And if you guys are watching this and you're thinking Alex is only talking with the people that are there, that's correct. We're talking about whatever we feel like talking about, which is how a live stream tends to go. But we're really hoping, or I'm really hoping that means in the future, when I upload a video, it'll be its own thing. And when I do a speech or like a lecture or talk during the live stream, it'll stand alone for the first part of it, and then there'll be questions for the second part. But that way, everybody watching will be able to watch. And if they don't want to hear the "Hey, what's going on, everybody," to each and every one of you, then they don't have to. But I feel that it's important as a creator, and you guys, like I've been saying, you're my real friends. Like all my real life friends now pretty much consist of fish people, with a few exceptions that are like old friends since childhood. So, of course I want to hang out with y'all. So let's see here. Who do we have lurking around? We've got Pete Berlinski. If you guys haven't checked out his Instagram, he is an incredible aquascaper down in Perth, Australia. Amazing stuff. Beautiful tanks he has. High tech. Aqua Balls is George. He just hit 1,000. If you guys like ball pythons, if you guys like aquatics, Aqua Balls. He's got both. And he breeds a lot of everything. And he just hit 1,000 the other night, and then YouTube swiped it from his hands. He had the taste of victory, and it was stolen from him. So if we can help him out and make sure he's still over 1,000 subscribers, I think that would make his day. Sage P. Lindsay, what's going on? Screamin' Fly Productions. Dr. Anthony Mazaral, what is up? Misfits, Reptiles, and Aquatics. How's it going, buddy? Mark Sterlson, hello. 3G, Angie McGee. You were early. And then we have Atomic Ink Injections. We have Angracoids and more. Or andracoids. I don't know that word. It must be an orchid or something. Sweet Shot, hello. You made it to the start of a stream. Yeah, it's because I'm going to start streaming on Mondays at this later time so that we could get a different mix of folks than the Friday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, or rather 7:30 Pacific, if you're, or 7:30 Eastern rather. Introvert Genetics, what's up? Kegged Aquatics, hello. Keith. Mike's Tank Syndrome, what's up? And Fish Tropic, Levi's Aquariums and Terrariums, Jeff, Kane, Sketty Nona, check the fish box. What's going on? This works. Yeah, am I good enough? I'm good enough. Looking for something to watch, and you stumbled upon me at Dr. Pepper. Where y'all at? Yeah, for real. Brian, what's going on? Brian Levy, and then we've got who else? Stephen P. 2003. He likes a rap on top of a beat. He's in here, and Kelly Huff. How are you, my friend? Obviously, I already gave you my heartfelt thanks. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate that, especially this month. Apparently, doing neurosurgery on your spine ends up costing money. They'll get you over anything these days. Ray Cooper, what's going on? Is that fish paint on your nail? Wait, is that fish safe paint on your nails? Most definitely not. I bet it will kill all my fish. No, honestly, it's not XYZ safe. It doesn't say anything, but it does cure pretty hard, and it's basically becomes like a polyurethane type, I don't know, some sort of acrylic. And I think the way it flakes off and everything, that it doesn't dissolve whatsoever. And so if they ate it, I think it's kind of like cured chunks of plastic, basically. And then Jerry Serple Morris, always good to see you, buddy. Glad to see you. I feel like it's been a little while, but I'm so glad you're here. And right on, new stream time, you'll be able to watch it. And then Pennsylvania, or Pa Fish Preacher, what's going on? And of course, Kenny 3G. All right, I think. Oh, Michael Long, Zach Roar. The 186 element, Chance Larson. I have to run heaters in every tank. I have 5 Eheim Jaegers, and they never give me any problems. Just run the Aquarium Pro, just the one Aquarium Pro, because it was on sale. No issues yet. I've never had issues with them so far, but this is a bad issue. Yeah, for sure. So, okay, we've said hello, and I feel like I've targeted y'all. Koro, what's up? Synodonis petricola. What? You talking to my buddies that are in the tank right here? these ones. Where are you, Synodonus petricola? Petricoliatis. So, what's up, guys? You guys want to talk about anything in particular? We have anything on our mind? Have you seen this? Have you heard this? I got some new guppies. I was at Aquarium Co-op at their store, and I bought some guppies that I thought were real party. So we could also go look at some tanks, and that's a thing. The Lake Inle tank. In fact, let's go look at the Lake Inle tank. I'm gonna pop up on this other device. David Slayton, just tuning in, brother. Happy to have caught you. Right on. I'm glad that you caught me too. I'm caught. I'm stuck in the middle with all of you guys. And I'm wondering what it is I could do. That album is very, very good. The Steelers Wheel first album, 1972, very, very good. Moena. Guppies. And hello, Moena. Probably saying that completely wrong, but passionate fruit, petricola or lucipennis. Well, how about Synodonus petricola? Alex, under what conditions, if any, are guppies happy but do not breed? If you get the pH too low, generally guppies breed no matter what. They'll breed all the way down into like dying territory. And then sometimes their babies will survive because they can actually kind of acclimate the babies. But yeah, there's not. Oh, I have something else to show you guys too that's pretty fun. How many days do you turn up the heat for ick? I usually do for 2 weeks. I go to 86 degrees and I do it for 2 weeks to be safe. Into the oldies as well, man. Can I ask how old you are? Yeah, I'm 35, and but I've always like had my dad's old music, and then I had older friends, so I also cut kind of the grunge stuff a bit too. So I have kind of an eclectic taste, I suppose. Huang Nguyen, my ammonia is 8.0. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What I need to do, ADA soil, water changes, lots of water changes, put in more plants. Put in more plants and do lots of water changes. Your tank has not established a cycle whatsoever, and 8 parts per million, that's a lot. I would say, man, yeah, you probably are going to need to do a lot of water changes, like a 50% water change. Kelly Joe, so Kelly Joe Huff literally just Venmo. Oh wait, you guys can't see that. Whoa, weird. There we go. $20 super chat. Thank you so very much. Please don't give me all your money. I mean, if you need, don't ever give me money if you need to do something else with that. I mean, I am humbled and honored that for it, but thank you so much. Your snail is okay. Yeah, at 8 parts per million. Snails can do okay with ammonia sometimes. It depends on the snail. I would guess that it's not going to do that well long term. What is my Venmo? Hold on. Let me look it up. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But the nice part about that is then I only pay like 28 to 32% taxes on income as a freelancer. Whereas the other way, it's with state tax, federal tax, it's 40% that YouTube ends up setting aside. Then I pay the other amount on top of it. So it's crazy. YouTube is making a killing. So the handle is, I mean, I think I know what it is. It's in the description below, my PayPal and my Venmo. Thank you very much. But let me see. Let me get that for you. So it is right here for you. It is, come on, focus. Really, it is at Alex-Williamson-88. And you know what? It just gave me 88 when I did that. How many days do you do water changes until that ammonia's gone? Huang. Uh Alan, thank you. You apparently know my Venmo better than I do. You know it faster than I do. Uh but yeah, do those water changes because yeah, that's rough. If you have any, do you even have any nitrates or nitrites yet? Because that means you do not have any cycle yet. Um, Nino Franklin says, I'm getting my Medaka pond started up. Temps finally getting above 60 degrees. They don't even need to be above 60. Your Medaka will survive just fine, even in ice. Oh, okay. It's a brand new tank, 8 parts per million. So that's the ADA's Amazonas soil. You're going to need to not put anything in there. You can put plants in there and they'll grow like wild at first if you got a good light on it. But you're going to want to do a water change of 30% a day every day or 50% every 2 days, something like that. And then get a filter cycled quickly so that it can, whether that's a hang off the back or a canister or a sponge filter, but you need that bacteria to start working through it so that the ammonia turns into nitrites. The nitrites then get eaten by another bacteria that turns it into nitrates, and then nitrates are much safer for your fish. But what's nice about the ADA is that it is going to lower your pH. So the ADA is an active substrate, meaning it has organics in it. It has carbon and it has different nitrogen compounds in it. So what you can end up doing is putting it in, letting it sit. You may want to add a little bit of a buffer, whether that's a remineralizer or crushed coral. I've found that for a 5-gallon, you can literally add about 2 or 3 teaspoons of crushed coral or shells. Just crush them into little bits, and then just kind of take a spoon and sprinkle them, or your hand, and just crumble it around the substrate, and then just kind of stir it lightly. Just make sure that it's like that. And then that way you won't get any swings in the pH when you're trying to keep the pH low, if that's what you're trying to do. But when you have an aqua soil like that that's active, your pH it can be low, and then your ammonia is not harmful to your fish. It becomes very harmless. Your nitrates become like so if you're at 7.0 versus 6.0, so say they're on a scale of 1 to 1,000, at 8.0 pH, they're 1,000 points deadly of danger. Well, then at 7, they're 100. At 6, they're 1. At 5, they're 0.01. So, yeah, the lower you go, the less harmful it is. But also, the more you can get swings in your water chemistry if you don't have it slightly buffered with something. But it just depends on what you want to do. All right, so we're gonna hop in as another viewer, and do 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 do. Regina Phalanges. Good to see you. So good to see you, Regina. Always good to see you and your little picture with your cute little pup. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, I'm gonna call this one Alex too, so I don't confuse the stream. Okay. And then
pulling it up, pulling it. We're going wireless. We're going wireless. And we're going to bring this one down. Okay. Hi, guys. Can you still hear me? All right. Now we're going to switch the camera around so you can see the Lake Inle tank. And not me with my aqua soil on my face and on my cheek. Oh boy, we have way too many tabs open. Let me close some of those. Don't need those open. It's just gonna slow us down. All right, back camera. Boom. Finally, we're here. We're here. We've arrived on the scene, guys. Okay. Oh wait. Let's do this. Can you guys hear me okay? Your tap water is crap water. What's up? Welcome. So I went back on a hunch to Aquarium Co-op. Nobody likes these fish in the tank they have it set up in. They just don't look good. They look really dingy and kind of like a rusty color. And so basically they're just not popular, but they're such a beautiful fish. Oh, hey, look, the male Lake Inle Loach is out. So the male Lake Inle Loach has a permanently crooked tail, and all of them do. And it's because they all were born and raised in Lake Inle, and they have been cut off from the rest of the world for somewhere around 500,000 years. And it caused them to form that kink in their spine from probably inbreeding. And then apparently it never caused enough issues that they had trouble with it. This guy was a baby when I put him in here, like what, 2 months ago, whenever I set this tank up. The Bacopa's all growing up and out pretty well now out of this tower section that we made over here, out of that water bottle. It's a substrate tower, but we've also got a whole bunch of Limnophilia aromatica and other plants that are just trying so hard to come and crest the top of the water. But I hope what you guys can see here is that, remember that crazy algae problem? It's on every leaf. It's all gone. So part of what we did was we cut the plants that were having. There's the female Lake Inle Loach. They'll probably come out more in this stream. But in any case, so what I did was I trimmed my big tank out front, and I put all the trimmings in here, and I'm just letting them grow under this real strong light floating. And so they're growing, and yeah, they're growing kind of some weird directions and things. And what you'll get is a lot of runner roots that you have to trim later, like these little white wispy ones. But that's okay. Look at the little rosy loaches. These are also endemic to Lake Inle. They're so pretty. And then the Lake Inle female, I think these are such an underrated fish. They're so pretty. Come back, come back. So I've got two pairs of the Inle loaches in here, and they're a hard one to find. Like, it's not every day that you come across them, but I wish they were in the hobby more. And same with rosy loaches. They used to be in the hobby quite a bit, and now they've kind of become less. Oh, the last four digits of my cell phone would be 4929. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know why it wants that. I'm sorry. But that's that. Also, we've got the wild glow light Danios, and then the CPDs, and we've got erythromicrons in here. And like I said earlier, this tank is going to get entered in the biotope contest for Lake Inle's southern end, which is all swampy, not in a dirty swampy way, but in a like tons of aquatic plants. And agriculture going on. So I think I might even actually get some rice paddy, like rice paddy look going. There's the male again. And then here comes, there's a female rosy loach. They're great. These are full grown. They're super acrobatic and really, really cute. They turn from orange to peach to blood red. They're a really great fish. And then the females stay that spotted color. But the males and females are very interactive. They move around together a lot, and I really enjoy them. And they also seem to clean the algae pretty well. And then these are the Lake Inle gourami, or the thick-lipped gourami, or the Trichogaster labiosa, and they're a really beautiful fish, and they're very, very peaceful for a gourami. A lot of gouramis can tend to be nippy and just kind of pushy. These ones are not at all. They'll like do their best to get out of the way of everything. And then we got the emerald dwarf rasboras, which are called erythromicrons in Latin. Erythro for red in Greek, and micron for small. And then the celestial pearl danios, obviously right here. These are the ones we spawned. But where they all ended up dead the other day was right over here. And I need to add a bunch of water to this tank because I've been doing pretty heavy water changes on it just to keep it fresh and healthy. But I'm done with this CO2. This CO2 sucks. I hate it. I didn't like it in the first place, but I said I'm going to give it a few months, try it again. You just eat through CO2. I mean, I've gone through 6 bottles, and I happen to have like 5 bottles, but they're 15 or 20 bucks depending on where you get them. Usually, sometimes, well, $9.99 is the cheapest I've ever seen them, but that's ridiculous for a 45 or whatever 45 gram cartridge. That is ridiculous. So yeah, and then this is hopefully a little female gourami. Now, what I love what they do is watch their little feelers. They are super social, and they use those little whisker feelers that are their pelvic fins in reality, I think. Maybe somebody like Dr. Anthony knows if they're fins that are modified or if they're actual like whiskers that have shifted down. But regardless, I think they're pectoral fins. I'm going to call them that for now, but I could be wrong. But they use them to just constantly feel around, and they have chemo receptors or chematophores that allow them to kind of taste and analyze the water around them. Which is really cool, and they're just super active with them. Here's that big old female Inle loach again. All right, let me answer some questions in the chat that I have neglected. They can taste with those fins too. Right on, thank you. Alan Bauer, I did another water change. Okay. Hey, Grant, what's up, man? So Grant goes right before me on this new time slot, so I highly suggest you guys check him out if you haven't. He's who sent me my only successful spawning project of several of the Caridina species, which I normally couldn't spawn well. So here's the little male Inle loach. They're playing hide and go seek. They do this, the male and female. They chase each other around. And then last night, what they were doing was they were touching bellies together and swimming like synchronized all the length of the tank, which I think is spawning behavior, not positive, but it was pretty cool to see. I really like this tank. All these fish actually live together in Lake Inle, which is a shallow lake. And I'm really excited to have a biotope that's actually the right plants and the right fish, and it just gives you this dynamic of it, how they interact, that's unreal compared to your average community tank. It's like everybody has a role, everybody has a little area And yeah, the more little microfauna I could get, the better. If I could get some snails from there and things. But I think I'm going to end up putting in some Malawas shrimp. They're pretty close to the local shrimp. So yeah. Um, Zach, to be honest, I hate YouTube, so no money for them. Hey, I understand. The tiger crypts look amazing. Any tips on how to keep them? I just bought one. Yeah, so Sunnyside Gardens. I do have a couple pretty big tips on how to keep these because I've had some not so good luck and some good luck with these over the years. But the last 3 years or so, I've got it pretty dialed in. So the thing that I've learned is if you put them directly into aqua soil that's brand new, like Amazonas or any of the active kinds that have ammonia or nitrates and nitrites, it will actually burn the plant and melt it. So what you need to do is put sand in between those layers like this, even if it's only that much sand. But that way the plant is mostly in sand, and then the roots can reach down into that ammonia rich substrate. And so that goes on. And then if you have a new tank, it's going to cycle. And some of these are just red. And even though it's kind of got some tiger markings, if it has that green line down the middle of the plant, those are just your red tiger cryptspiralis. Whereas if it's like, or your red cryptspiralis, these are red tiger cryptspiralis if they've got the black or crimson line down the middle like these other ones. And they're really a great crip. They stay pretty compact for the most part. They don't get a ton bigger than this. In most tanks, they'll usually stay something like this size, like hand size. And the other thing is you can kind of trim them and keep them small. And if they have low light, they'll stay small on their own. But we had algae all over this, and I used all these plant trimmings, which first we trimmed the plants from this tank and we put them into one of my other tanks that was full of shrimp, and the shrimp cleaned the plants. And then we returned all the plant clippings free of filamentous hair algae, and now we're just letting them soak up that excess because ADA Amazonia soil has so much nutrients in it. Don't get me wrong, it's great for plants when you know how to use it. But if you don't, it's just going to cause crazy algae blooms, and it can even just make your fish downright sick or dead from the ammonia, especially if you're stirring it up and kicking it around the water column. But so yeah, what I do is I do that, and I put them in and I place them in sand. Now I have them in other tanks too, and they do not look nearly as pretty. And this one's all beat up because a limb is right on it. There's another one in the back, and again, they have plecos and snails and other things chomping on them, but they're growing straight out of sand with no aqua soil. So the biggest problem they seem to have, in my experience, is that they get grown. There's some in here too. They get grown with absolutely too much nutrient in there, and then they burn. And so they're real prone to burning. They're real prone to algae. And to get rid of the algae, what you'll want to do is you'll want to well, obviously you want to keep the nitrates or nitrites and ammonia down in the tank, but you can keep it away from the plant somewhat by not putting it in the direct light, but also by having a cleanup crew of some sort. And if they're harming the plant, the other next best thing to do is going to be you want to, so I'm trying to think if I've got one that you can see. There's some in here too, but they're too far back in there now to even be seen in this like Javanese tank. Unless let me try to move some aside and see if we can see what I'm talking about. But again, all these plants are into sand substrate first, and then they've got the active substrate. But what you want to do is you want to get all these layers of detritus and mulm While that's fine in a tank and it's building up your core layer, you want to actually vacuum the base of the plant and get rid of it around there while it's new, because all of those, any of that biomaterial, any living plant debris or fish poop or excess food, it's naturally inclined to kind of pool up in the I guess you'd call it like a well, like a tree well, around the plants, and that's how plants partially that's how they source their nutrients and how it compounds and builds up there. Well, you want to get rid of that when it's new. So there's one back here that's old, and once it's old, it's fine. It'll do fine. But the other thing you can do, like with pink flamingo, which is one that's notorious, if it's not already an underwater pink flamingo, look how fat she is. She's got so many eggs. My Stiphidons are always full of eggs now. They're so happy in this tank. It's crazy. And same with the samurai or Valenti gouramis. They're always showing off and they're always coloring up and doing a little jig. But in any case, yeah, you just want to make sure that the ammonia and that the biological matter is not out up in the water, and that their roots are able to access it on their own accord, because plants actually do better. It's healthier for plants to access that stuff, like ammonia, like pure ammonia. It's healthier for them to metabolize that in small doses, but if it's high doses, they don't do well with it. Now, why I can't get these fish to spawn, I have no idea. It's a major bummer, but they're just so beautiful. And if you guys have seen these in other live streams, they're super pretty. I want to show you guys some other things. Scarlet Badass, can you have with shrimp? You can, but there's a good chance they're gonna eat your baby shrimp. That's just the sad reality of it. In this tank, I've got one, and he literally eradicated my shrimp. Here he is. He is the hybrid. He's the Higginsoni and Scarlet hybrid. And right now, it's hard to see because there's so much plant cover. But you can see all the chili rasboras here, and he's so aggressive, he'll actually attack my finger. Right now, he's not colored up, but he gets black stripes on half of his body, too. I posted pictures of him, but he's kind of got like a white background right now. And look, me just putting my finger in, yeah, he goes nuts. He's a very mean fish. He'll eat any little shrimp that he can get his hands on, his mouth on. So the other thing I wanted to show you guys is how nice, also my Malawas shrimp, oh, they're looking so good. And I've been culling and culling and culling to try to get to Sesame Street. No, to try to get to a colony for years now. If you guys have been following the channel, you know I've separated blue and red Malawas and tried to get them to be their own lines for going on 7 years now. Like, it's the first shrimp I kept, and I've been trying to keep them separate. So we're going to take a look at those as I answer questions too. But I wanted to show you guys, these are all from Grant, not the cherry shrimp, but all the other Caridina that are in here. They're from Grant at Garden of Eater, shrimps.com. And we've got tangerine tigers, and then we've got the cheetah shrimp, and we've also got the raccoon, or sometimes people call them zebra, even though there's already a zebra babalti. And right here, if I bring her forward, let's see if we can bring some of these forward. They're a little shy because it's daytime, but Grant told me to take a look for pregnant ones and to keep an eye on them because he said they were going to be really extra pretty. And unlike neocardinas, which don't really get prettier when they're pregnant,
These really do. These cheetahs, this one has like an orange stripe and purple and then blue on the top head section. Super cool little shrimp, and she's saddled and waiting for a mate. And then here's another, if we can get it to focus, here's another one, and then this one's a blue stardust. And where are all my pregnant caradinas? They're probably all hiding because of life, because they like to hide when shrimp like to hide when they're pregnant. But I mean, look how bright his shrimps are. And then this one has a few eggs, but I think some of them got eaten off of her by maybe scuds, because there are scuds in here, and I've been trying to eradicate them, but bad luck. Man, that is not a good picture. There we go. See, there's a scud in the substrate right here, and I'm going to catch it. Hopefully, hold on. And so we've got the scud in the little pipette, and now we're gonna feed it to my Schismatogobius amapluvilosa, if we can find him. Where are you, Schismato? You know, he knows now what's up, what's dinner time. Oh, he'll actually come to the turkey baster usually. Watch. Oh, there you are, buddy. Now, I have learned a couple problems. Oh, he got that like instantly. He some of these fish are eating stuff that's too big for their britches. So let me get another small one that he can manage, and we'll feed him. See, here's a stardust that's got berries, and they're bright yellow berries. If Grant's watching, I'd love to know if those bright yellow berries on a blue stardust, if that's the norm, or if that could be that the tangerine tigers crossed with them, which would make some sense. I mean, the serrata, the stardust could be serrata, and so could the raccoons for that matter. So could the cheetahs for that matter. I mean, serrata makes more sense than cantonensis or any of the other groups, which are interchangeably they do interbreed. Also, you can see we got a lot of baby shrimp in here, and I'm about to move these neocaradinas out. They were kind of just a canary in the coal mine, so to speak, to let me know how the tank was doing overall health wise. But we're gonna catch another little scud. And then, oh, here comes another blue stardust female that's got a big old saddle on her back. They're so pretty. I really like them. And then, come on. We've also got some young babies that are caradina, and I don't know which ones gave birth to them, but I think they're cheetahs. Just in their pattern, they seem to be kind of like a tan to clear color, and then they seem to have like freckles and spots. Okay, there's one. Isn't this thrilling, guys? Me hunting these tiny little bugs with a little pipette. Sorry. Hurry up, Alex. Find something cool. Oh, here we go. That one will be perfect if I can catch it. Did I get it? No, I didn't, because I'm a dummy. Oh, here we go. Come on. Did I get him? Yeah, I got him. All right. I think he popped out at the last minute. Gosh, that's frustrating. Come on. There we go. Now we got him. All right. So we're going to come back to my buddy who's waiting over here. Hey, buddy, come back. And, oh, man, these things hide if you're not careful. I don't know why I'm hunting for them over in. Now it's just down here in the debris that he'll have to find. But I don't know why I'm hunting for them down here in the shrimp tank, other than just kind of waiting for the pretty new Caradinas to show up, swim down. But it's because I have uh, a whole colony of them that I can pull from if I really want to. Uh, I just don't tend to do that because I'm kind of doing experiments on seeing how long I can get scuds to last on their own. It's kind of one of those ironic things where like you try to make scuds last and survive without any assistance. Oh, there's one planaria. I keep finding one planaria a day. Little teeny ones. Did I get it? Oh, I got it. Yeah. And then I feed them over here to the rice fish. They love them. Oh, by the way, here's the new guppy. Look at that. Look at that crazy fin on top. The dorsal fin is wild. Wild. Ostia Llewellyn, hello. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, the baddest, they aren't gonna usually, mine's just a psycho. They're not gonna usually kill all your shrimp, but they will eat the shrimp babies. So what I was gonna say is these two are from my line, and then I bought these ones yesterday, which are a blonde. You can tell by the yellow and gold background that they are blonde gene, and these are supposedly endlers. I got them at Aquarium Co-op. I don't know if they're like Endler guppy hybrids, but they're very pretty. The orange and the yellow is a difficult hybrid to get. But what's nice about using blonde guppies that have yellow as their base color, as their main color, is that yellow is actually completely recessive. So they have four different color variation genes that translate to their phenotypes, and all of them have to be turned off dominance wise. So there's a total of 8 chromosomes, and they have to have all 8, and only then they have 2 that are recessive that have to be turned on for blonde. And that's also what the up here, Vinay from Color Guppies, that's what he got me with these Ginga rubras, or actually these are Ginga sulpharis. But the Ginga sulpharis also have that gene that is recessive. And so if I were to cross them with anything other than orange, red, or yellow dominant with the yellow background fish, those colors would show up. So if I cross this with like a blue, like a Hawaiian blue, or a green Moscow or black Moscow, it would almost completely, the first generation, be exactly like the father, the Moscow. All those blues and things would come through. Whereas in the second generation away from that mix, you'd have a quarter, possibly. Actually, it'd be not 1/4, it'd be 1/8 that were similar to the orange and yellow and red type, and then all the other ones, the other 7/8 would be the same as the parent. So if you're ever trying to make your own guppy line or endler line, it's kind of nice to use blonde based ones. It makes life easier for sure. All right, I need to answer some questions for y'all. And while we do that, we're going to take a look here at my blue Malawa colony and see how they're doing. I've got some pictures, and I've pulled out some of the bluest blues into their own little tub, but I wanted to show you guys the progress I've made on these. Plus, I crossed them about a year ago with some actual Malawas from the wild that had a blue. See how blue they are now, guys?
I've got some that are downright red also that look like low-grade cherry shrimp, but these are a sky blue, like a sapphire to sky blue, depending on the time of day and the diet and how stressed they are and all that good stuff. But I really love how these are looking, and I'm gonna send Grant a bunch of pictures because I've taken a bunch of pictures of these guys. And sorry about that. I was saying I've taken pictures of these guys solo. There we go. Uh, Up close, and you can actually, under a microscope, you can see their pigments cells in their exoskeleton, under their exoskeleton, and see that it's a really nice blue, and it's getting denser and denser as the years have gone on. Now, check these out. These are some of my highest grade blues yet out of the Malawas. Can you guys see how blue she is down there? She is like a very lovely sky blue. I'm going to try to move some of this red root floater and stuff out of the way so you guys can see. Now, the problem is they're not breeding completely true, but I am getting about 70% true now. And what we're getting is we're getting bees that are not necessarily that blue. They're kind of like a translucent color. So I don't mind that. That's okay. But the real true blues, like the one right down in there, she's got berries in her right there. And she is electric blue. So is this guy. Look at how blue he is. And this one too. So I really think that I might be the only person in the world slash America that has spent 7 years on separating these fish and getting the lines to be fairly true. But yeah, so these are the blue Malawas, and I am pretty excited. This is really the first few generations that I look at, and I could mistake them for neocaradinas with the level of blue that some of these have. There have been a few individuals that are so densely blue that I thought like, oh, one of my blue neocaradinas must have got in there. I don't have any blue neocaradinas anymore, so that didn't happen, definitely. But you can see the ones that are not up to par. They still have the anthocyanin-rich pigment modules on their back, but they don't have it all over. And then they've got a melatonin marking on the bands between their armor rather than oh, here comes another really blue one. So again, another really blue one just popped in there. And then I'll try to find you guys like what the normal ones look like elsewhere up in another tank. So then I've separated them obviously, but here's like a normal one. These are kind of these ones. I'm trying to kind of get a yellow color, but it's not really working. It doesn't seem to be a color morph that comes out. So these are the normal Malawas, and they are Caridina, like I said, but they breed very prolifically. Come on, focus. And here is your standard wild looking one that's very mature. It's got some plaques or those markings that are the white on it. That's from having a general hardness on the higher end, and I can get that out of the blue ones too. So I've tried putting the blue ones in harder water, and I can actually get them to have the white to cream colored blotches on their armor, which is pretty exciting too. And then I've been working literally earlier tonight. Look at this fern. This fern just explodes all over. But I've got the red line ones in here of the Malawas, and they're pregnant, so they're probably hiding in in the actual terracotta pot. But I think what's important to them, and guys, I promise I'm going to get to questions again in a moment. So here, yeah, here they're in here. These are the red ones. And I got some close-up shots the other night. Right now, they're not on a red substrate, and that makes a big difference. The substrate, like, will help them change tones from gray to clear to black almost, but they're never going to turn blue. You know, they're just going to turn dark gray on a blue substrate if they aren't that line. Same with the red. Like all of these may revert to clear when they're stressed or when they're put onto a different substrate. But it's a matter of them coloring up into the blues and the reds when they are on the right substrate. And the other thing that seems important is the anthocyanins, which are really strong in red root floaters, blueberries, antioxidants, things like that. Those are a real part of those ecosystems. So there's that. All right, let me sit down and catch up on the questions, guys. Sorry for my scatterbrain life. Alex, maybe. Oh, whoops. Alex, maybe you or someone you might know. I have angel fry from a male black veil and a silver zebra female. What will the fry be like? Can't tell yet. Yeah, exactly what Patrick's Dragon Lair said. They will come out 90% marbled, with 10% will be marbled with zebra stripes. I mean, somewhere like that. And about 1/3 to half will be veils. And that's because they're different. Like they have different levels of dominance. The genes, like the veil tail, is one separate thing, and it's totally a different than the color genes. So they're independent of one another. And then if you stack those odds together, that's what you'll end up with. So yeah. But it is interesting because different fish species have totally different rules when it comes to what is like going to be the result. David Slayton, bro, you just missed a shot. What did I just miss? Let's see here. Oh, did my butt hang out? Sorry, guys. I do not have any rocket killies right now. They reached about 2 or 3 years old, and the pair I had in here passed away. So, unfortunately, no rocket killies at the moment. I'll probably get more, though, because I love those fish. I love them a lot. Oh, did my camera on my computer or something fire up when it booted me from my phone internet, and then y'all saw me bent over looking at the tanks with my butt hanging out or something? Sorry about that, guys. Watch it now, it's all totally demonetized. Sorry. All right, let's see here. How do you treat driftwood? Boil or bake or maybe hydrogen? No, so I would boil it if you can. And if you can't do that, then soak it for a really long time and then take it out after soaking and put it in the sun during the summer or wherever the hottest, driest place you have is, and just let it cure in the sun for a while. And that's my favorite way to do it. I want this focus on this little guy. There we go. That's the hybrid Higginsoni and Scarlet. But he's kind of stressed right now, I guess. because he just looks like a scarlet, but he is bigger. But he's killed all his friends and family, so I don't know what to do with him. I thought, oh, this will be a great hybrid line. It'll be an interesting mix and yada yada. And no, that's not the case. Everybody dies. That's what happens. Um, Alex, everyone knows you're not wearing any pants. What? I am wearing pants. Uh, that's weird. I wonder, did you guys see? Huh. I do have pants on, but I do also have a plumber's butt hanging out, probably. Where my tubs are all set up. I've been using them to get live insects and food out of the they're outside, right outside the window. So yeah, they're all good. Oh, and then the Medaka should be going out there soon, but they're in here right now. I've got close to, there should be around 50 baby Medaka in this little tub right here, and they're eating green water and scuds, daphnia, triclops, cyclops, any little critters that are in the pond that are not mosquito larvae or bloodworms. Uh, they're in there to eat that. And they're just cruising around doing their thing. Uh, and then when I get an older group like these, I'll split them up so that they won't eat each other. They won't eat the babies. Oh boy. Well, it sounds like you guys need to slip me some 20s into my pajamas. It sounds like you guys got a show for free. Or how about this? If you don't slip me some 20s into my pajamas, you'll have to get another show for free. Look how red these guys are. They're so angry and want food. And I got rid of most of them, but I still have about a dozen of them. And they're just so needy, and they're starting to get kind of mean towards each other. But these are the Lake Turkana jewel cichlids. Um, Interestingly enough, this one out of the albinos has almost no orange markings, which is kind of odd. The other ones all do. And these have taken forever to grow up. Those took a full year. She's ready to explode and have a million babies. Both of these gals are. I should put them aside. Uh, yeah, I could have a million Beckfordite pencilfish babies. Let's see some pseudomcgill. All right. Look at the time. Yeah, you guys can see how jacked up my light fell over when I went to show y'all the shrimp. I'm using a stool to be my mic boom, which is unplugged now because it would have given feedback now that we're not on the thing. So pseudomcgills. Here's some pseudomcgill luminatus. And then there's Radnocentris ornatus, which also were in the other tank down there. And then we also have thread fins, but those, I know those aren't pseudomcgills, but those are what I have right now. My Gertrudes were going long and strong, doing well in this tank until Mr. Mean Face snapped one day and ate every single one all in one day. Like he acquired a taste. It's amazing how that happens so quickly sometimes. Right now, I'm growing out some of my haplochromis, though, from Lake Victoria in here. And they're little terrors, too. I mean, I don't know what to do with them. They're so mean. This is my mean tank. The fire barbs aren't mean at all. They're real quick and they can get away. But this is one real mean betta. He is really mean. These little guys are mean, mean, mean. I'm talking like almost red devil type mean or green terror type mean. Anything that fits in their mouth, they're attacking. The glass, they're attacking. Uh, they'll eat a mouthful of duckweed just because they go to the top and strike at things. Yeah, they're crazy. And also, I need to move some of these bettas into their own little cups and start conditioning them. These are all siblings. Uh, so yeah. Kelly says, "Shake that money maker." Um, Alsat, Texas Fish Keeper. What's up? Hello. Um, yeah, readers, I have a red ear slider turtle that doesn't give a damn about fish until she does, and then she eats them all in one day. Yeah, exactly. It's these ones that are psycho. Like this is a little female and she's fine, but the males are ruthless. And so is this betta. This betta is the meanest betta I've ever had. That being said, I shouldn't complain because they've all got enough room that they know to stay away from each other. So the worst fin tearing you'll see is like a little nip here or there. They all know to get away. But in size, I mean, these are all brothers and sisters. This one and this one are always competing for tank boss status. And the other ones are just, they're like, no way, forget it. And they just peace out. But there's 9 of them in here. Um, so yeah. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? What else? Need to clean. Oh, look at this, guys. The beautiful loaches, the Inle red-tailed loaches, are together. That's the female, male with the crooked tail, and she's real big. I mean, bordering on, I wouldn't call her a nano fish. Actually, she's yay big, so probably 3 inches now, over maybe. Let me take my coat off, make myself a little more comfortable. Wait, what is that? There's some coming over, something in the tank, and I don't know what it is. So now I'm gonna fish it out. No idea what that is. Like a lotus blossom, maybe? Weird. But yeah, here's the Rhabnocentris ornatus Puna Creek. The other Rhabnocentruses are Siri Creek, but the Puna Creek ones are a little bit darker. They have like a black caudal and or I mean a red caudal, black dorsal, and anal fin, and then their scales are they look like armor. You can see the little like in between their scales there's dark spaces. Let's see if we can kind of scare them to the front. Come on, guys. I was gonna say I'm leaning over again. Am I showing my butt to everyone? But I realize that it's not filming, so we're good. All right, guys. Do we have any other comments or questions? The last of the algae that was in here is just hanging on by a thread right here. Maybe a little bit back up in here. Yeah, a little bit. But, oh, and out of the filter, but that's fine. I don't mind that. So now it's time to take all of these plants out that are floating and sell them, trim them, whatever, put them in new tanks and keep the ones I want. But they've done their job sucking up the nitrates. I think I'm going to add a bigger filter. This is supposed to be good up to 40 gallons, but I think I'm going to add a bigger one. Do I have a go-to flake food? Yeah. It's the Tetra. Hold on. I'm like hobbling around with my bad back, so I'm very clumsy. This one, Tetra Color Select Tropical Flakes. It has the the omega 3s and 6s, and it's the color enhancer. You want to make sure it has anthocyanins in it and astaxanthin, antioxidants, and then omega 3s and 6s. Or you can also just look for if it has salmon meal in it, fish meal, a lot of times it'll be called. Um, that'll be important. You just don't want like oats or wheat to be one of the first ingredients either. Um, Reef the Sea Forever, Sixth Stream. Well, thank you. Debbie Holding, hello, how are you? Um, and then let's see here. So what else did I miss anything else? Yeah, smash that like button. That's right. That's right. Yeah, she is a big girl. Look at her. She's gonna come out again, and she's full of eggs right now. So I hope they spawn, but I think there's so many fish in this tank that spawning will not be successful unless they're big defenders of their babies. And I don't know, they're loaches, but they're also loaches from Lake Inle. So they spawn all in a still water, which is very odd for loaches. Most loaches are kind of river spawners generally. Also, I've noticed these gouramis are picking this leaf clean, and I'm wondering if they're wanting to lay some eggs there. I thought they were bubble nesters, but I do not know. Can I keep a Emperor Tetra with the Von Rio? Yeah, I don't see why not. Just give them enough room. Don't keep them alone. I mean, give them each a group of 5 or 6 plus of each other. What's my wife planning in the garden this year? This year we've kind of gone low key in that we're gonna do like beans and peas and um, probably squash, cabbage, carrots, tomatoes, maybe some red peppers, green peppers, whatever. The bell peppers, because we've had warm enough years that we can have bell peppers, which we have never historically been able to keep here without a greenhouse for starts. We only usually have a month or two. Now, these are little rice fish. These are my platinums, not my red-headed ones. And what I wanted to show you guys too is, so these guys have been fed only fry food by Aquarium Co-op, which is, I like their fry food. It's got salmon meal in it as one of the main ingredients. And as I was just saying, it's chock full of it's got what fish crave. I was trying to find where I set the bottle. Hold on. I'm. Where did I set the bottle? Um. Anyways, it's a squeeze bottle and it's clear, but it's very fine, and I feed very tiny amounts. Yet, look at all this mold and debris after 2 weeks in this critter carrier thing. And I wanted to show you guys this because it's a symptom of an entire aquarium. And you can see, look at all the algae in here. Whereas there's no algae, not a spot of algae in here, which this is a filterless tank. And right now I'm testing this filter or this heater, but I don't need the heater. This tank is usually 76 because the Runu is 76. But I'm testing it with these apistos, which are the redfish, bluefish. Yet again, is where I got these from Jason. But the little baby, rice fish, you can see them. They look like a little eye, like 2 eyes on a little clear kidney bean shaped body. And there's probably 10 in here, but the ones at the top are the ones who are showing off right now. But look at the mess they have because they couldn't eat all that. And even though there are some snails that have gotten in here when they were smaller than the bars and now they're growing, they still make that mess. And I wanted to show you guys that because I'm very careful, and that is still what builds up when you're not careful, like when you're not super careful. And sometimes they just don't feel like eating. Sometimes it's just an issue. I agree. Feeding infusoria is best. That's why I've got a jar of it right here. But I wanted to show this for a video I'm thinking about doing, and that is just what builds up. And if you didn't have this all caught by plastic right here, it wouldn't be that apparent. Plus, I mean, this shares water, and yet we have protein film on the top and all of that, and that's just from the food. And I'm putting in, I wanted to find that food. The food might be in the other room, but oh wait, never mind. It's up here on the shelf. That's why. But I'm going to show you how much I've been feeding them. So I use this little squirt bottle, and I literally put that much in. I don't know if you guys saw that. I'll do it again, but that much in, which you can barely see. You can see it floating by it at the right angle. But that for a week adds up. And that's why it's so important to either clean where your fry are at. These guys will be okay because easily I can just go, you know, like this, and then like this, and then scoot everything over, and then scoot it all. And then it ends up kicking out a bunch of it, of the water anyways. But I kind of want to document, it hasn't even been a full 2 weeks yet. In 2 days it will be. So I kind of wanted to show what builds up in just 2 weeks. Shanna, what's going on? It's so good to see you. Yeah, PT 109, definitely. I like the egg yolk solution for feeding fish too. That's another good one. You know, honestly, in this tank, they don't need anything, technically speaking. I mean, if you want to power feed your fish and grow them real fast, they do. But in this tank, it's a filterless tank, and it's got rocks as a substrate, and then all sorts of valsinaria and sticks and moss and rocks in there. And I actually took cultures from a pond, like just some mud from a pond, and added it, and ended up with little ram's horn snails, pond snails, all sorts of paramecium and stuff. So it has a pretty good diversity in there. This tank is really my only tank that doesn't live with a good diversity of microfauna. You can actually really see it in shrimp tanks where nothing fish-wise is there to eat them. You can see all the little white dots on the glass, not the water stains, but the little white dots on the glass that are little paramecium. And on that note, that's why I have a few Madako rice fish in here while they're super tiny. Once they're over the 1/4 inch mark, I'll move them because then they could end up eating some of the shrimp. But right now they're harmless, and they hang out at the top, which is also where planaria tend to hang out at night in this tank because of the floating stuff. There goes that Battis just cruising around doing his thing. He has an entire group of 8 gold tetras scared to come out. He's such a jerk. Watch, you'll see the gold tetras in a minute. I'll scare him out. Yeah, right there was one. Here comes some more. But he's got them scared just by doing his little patrols. He's got all the rasboras up at the top, the amber. I think I should probably move him for the sake of the other fish at this point. Maybe put him in with these guys, with the apistos, see how he does, see if he still wants to talk tough, or if that quiets him down a little bit. Are black spots showing? Why are black spots showing up on my substrate, in your substrate? My guess would be that it is algae and or bacteria. So is it like these? Because this is just for me slacking, because this tank here is not filtered or is not deep substrate filtration setup. It has just a hang off the back that filters it, and then sometimes an air stone or a power head. And it has a lot of algae growing in it because I need to grow all the biofilm for all these little gobies that are in here. There's a dozen gobies in here. But at the same time, I need to keep the TDS under 100, and I need to keep the pH between 6 and 7. And that means a lot of water changes with distilled or evaporated water. This is obviously just fish poop and stuff from 2 days. That's 2 days of it, where normally it looks like this. So it happens quickly with this many fish, especially, you know, I grow them out, or I raise them with seasons. So every month or two, we'll drop the water and then we'll flood it back up to say here. Because of the pseudomagills, I don't put it all the way to the top. They'll jump out. Same with the gouramis. But yeah, the Radnocentris as well. Now, another fish that's kind of underrated that I want to get more of are these little gold barbs. And then there's some rosy barbs in here too. I know this tank's real murky. But these were all born last year out on my patio in September. And I'm gonna try breeding them again. The heat did get to a lot of them, but they were some of the only tough fish that survived. And I've got all the guppies that'll probably be going outside in the next, probably in 2 months. They'll be outside. In June, they'll be outside, late June. Dip the toothpick in. Oh, you guys are talking. I was overfeeding my BBS and feeding my fish black baby brine shrimp, and had a scud outbreak in the same tank. Have more red cherry shrimp than I know what to do with. Well, red cherry shrimp is always a good thing to have. What's up, Big Tank Hank? Good to see you, Hank. New tank, old substrate. Yeah, it's probably just growing algae or bacteria. Now, if you're real worried about it, you could plant some plants. Their roots will bring oxygen to it. Like, let's see, can you see this? This top is totally black, where this ADA substrate was. And then there's orange, which is where iron oxide has oxidized. There's also sulfur together. So this yellow blotch here is likely sulfur, which is pretty cool because that means true anoxic, or rather anaerobic filtration is going on, as in no oxygen, not low oxygen, no oxygen. And again, my duckweed is just crazy out of control. I need to scoop it all out. And I'm a little scared to do so because of how many fish and shrimp hang out right at the top of all these tanks. But when I scoot it aside, then I can finally see what my fish are up to in these filterless tanks. And here are these live bears from Jamaica, the metallic Blue Mountain live bears, and a million Malawas shrimp happen to be in here also. Just there's some blue ones, there's yellow ones, there's brown ones, there's clear ones, there's red ones. This is just a mix of shrimp, and there's just so many in here. This tank is so shrimp dense. And there's also some of the pygmy dwarf sunfish in there because they do so well with the little shrimps, because they'll eat one or two here or there. There's also some CPDs in here. Oh, there's one right now. And then again, this is a tank with a mix, but you can see one of the blue Malawas right there again too. So, and a red one. Not great ones of either, but, and then this thing is just dying slowly. I don't know what to do. The humidity is 80 to 100% in here half the time, and then about 70% the other half the time, depending on what cycle the humidifier's on. But this thing, I've been giving it tank water and it just dies. I don't know if it needs a lot more light and I need to have it like up in the window or what. but it just sheds and makes a freaking mess of everything. I hate it. Wish I'd never bought it. Wish it wasn't on sale. The end. I love golden barbs. How big do they get? The golden barbs, that's as big as they get. They're about a year old, these ones. So maybe 2 inches max. Maybe 3 if you really power fed them all growing up. You know, some people like Dean of on Aquarium Co-op's channel. He's in my local fish club, and he power feeds with like a feeder 3 or 4 times a day, if not like 5 to 7 times a day. And so he'll grow guppies and angelfish that are just huge quickly. And I'm just not, I just don't care enough, or slash, I'm not into that aesthetic of like the super bulked up tough fish, you know, big old bulky fish. And, but I mean, it's pretty crazy to watch. Corey would do that with his goldfish, or with his live bears, and you'd see in the shop when he used to bring his own in, there would be some females that were like over 3-inch guppies, like just ginormous guppies. All right, guys. So, let me turn this around. Oh, they grew well on your tank. Huh. I like the Fluval color enhance, like the granules. I like those for Corydoras and mid-sized cichlids, whereas the flakes are better for fish that hang out at the top. That's what I'd say about the difference between those two. Because, yeah, I do have like the bug bite tropical formula and the color enhanced one somewhere over in that stack there. And I feed like the flakes, like these guys love the flakes, whereas the granules are going to go to the Apistos or to this guy and his gal. Or the granules are great for these guys. The thing is, I don't like feeding granules unless I've got a cleanup crew at the bottom, because fish miss granules a lot. So that's the downside to a lot of the granules. There he is. Oh, he's making a beautiful show for us, even though the live stream never shows it in its full. Yeah, the color enhanced flakes are what I use mostly. That's why he asked about the granules, was actually because I use the other ones. Your pH is probably too high, Kobe. Your pH is probably too high at 8.2, and also GH 300, KH 180. Yeah, you're probably pushing all those a little bit too much. They might be getting trapped in their own eggs. Like oh, here's my rainbow shiners. They're getting bigger. These are the ones I got from Aquatic Arts. And my Betaminopina. There's a pair of Betaminopina in here, but then the rainbow shiners are back in there doing something. So again, Secret 15 and Secret 10. If you guys want 15% off anything at Aquatic Arts, helps out the channel, because then they'll send me, usually whenever next time I order something, they'll send me a couple free fish with it, and then I'll have more cool stuff to show you guys, fish and plant wise. So I do appreciate it, and you guys get a discount, so win-win for both of us. But the other thing I was going to say is I am going to be doing a show with Bob Steamfot. So probably on his channel, it sounds like, but I will post in the community tab. But Bob Steamfot and I in the next week or two are going to do a show together. And then Chattanooga Ed and I are doing a show together on either the 29th or the 22nd or 23rd. We haven't figured it out yet, but we will. And then it'll be awesome. Atkins, what's up, Ian? How's it going? Well, guys, I am... you should do a Pack the Bull challenge. Yeah. Well, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I need to take a shower. I'm dirty from working in the tanks. Like I've literally got duckweed here and dirt here, and but it has been great having you guys here. I love this, love the new time, and I will be around. And again, oh, the other new thing was now we have the ability, I don't know, nobody should feel obligated ever, but if anybody wants to, if they really like a video that I do, now you guys can do the super heart button, which is basically a super chat for an uploaded video. So all my prior videos also will have that now. And so if there's a video you really like or that was really helpful, it lets me know too, like, okay, people thought it was, you know, worth a buck or whatever. You can super chat essentially. I think it's $1, $5, or $1, $3, $5, $10 or something like that. But we have enough interaction and engagement on my channel, even though we're not the size yet, that they opened up the program to my channel. So I flipped it on, no pressure, but we'll see if anybody uses it. Just figured I'd let you guys know that that's a new option. If you don't make the live streams, you can do that. So we shall see if this live stream even still exists in the morning when I review the footage of how bad the buttage was. But I will talk to you guys later. I really do appreciate everybody here and all that you guys do as part of the community. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you, lurkers. Thank you, mods. Although I don't know if we had mods in here too much tonight, and we all behaved. April, hello. Carlos, hello. But thanks for behaving, everybody, and thanks for being awesome and supporting the channel by viewing and showing the love and just being a part of the community. Members, your new Fishery episodes, all 4, are up in the community tab this week. And everyone else, you can see it on the Aquatic Morning Show each morning if you want to see an extra episode. And other than that, I think we're going to call it a night, like I said. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you later. R, letter R, whatever. Later. Have a good one, guys. Bye.